Good morning. My name is Jan Shay, and it's my pleasure to be serving today as your worship associate. On behalf of First Unitarian Church of Wilmington, I welcome you to this morning's hybrid service, whether you're joining us virtually or here in the sanctuary. If you are new to First Unitarian, I invite you to check out our website, firstuuwilm.org, to learn more about us and to sign up for our email newsletter. If you're joining us online and you're interested in learning more about our congregation's ongoing activities, you will find a link in our chat that leads you to a brief form enabling you to sign up for our e-newsletter. First Unitarian Church is a welcoming congregation. We affirm the worth and dignity of all, no matter your racial or ethnic identity, pronouns or gender expression, sexual orientation, family structure, income, immigration status, language, size, or abilities, and you are welcome here. We hope you will join us in Fellowship Hall after the service for coffee and conversation. This month's Soul Matters theme is generosity. And joining us for today's service are two guest speakers from the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, or UUSC, who know a thing or two about what can be accomplished through the generosity of congregations. Jessica Sapalio is the coordinator of the UUSC's Congregational Accompaniment Project for asylum seekers, supporting congregations around the country as they provide sponsorship and work in solidarity with people seeking asylum. She is the co-founder of the Journey to Asylum Accompaniment Program at the Williamsburg Unitarian Universalist Congregation, and also serves as the congregation's social justice co-chair. She is a passionate advocate for racial justice and criminal legal system reform, and is a founding member of the WJCC Coalition for Community Justice. She previously worked as a vice president at GMMB, a communication and marketing firm for social causes, and for the American Red Cross National Headquarters International Service Department. She holds degrees in anthropology and religious studies from the University of Pittsburgh. Cassandra Ryan serves as UUSC Vice President of Development. She is responsible for establishing and administering UUSC's fundraising policies, as well as playing an active role in setting strategy for the organization. As UUSC's Vice President and Lead Development Officer, she leads all aspects of the institution's fundraising. Prior to her current role, Cassandra managed UUSC's Major Gifts Program and Special Initiatives campaign. She has worked for social justice throughout her career, with more than 20 years of experience in working with non-governmental organizations. Before moving to New England and joining UUSC in February 2011, Cassandra lived in New York, where she served as the Director of Major Gifts at the Center for Reproductive Rights, Major Gifts Officer at Millennium Promise, and Assistant Director of Major Gifts at the American Civil Liberties Union. She began her career at Amnesty International, where she worked for 12 years. Cassandra holds a graduate degree in international political economy and development from Fordham University, and an undergraduate degree in political science and economics from the State University of New York, Oneonta.
Good morning, all. Is that okay? Great. Good morning to UUSC's Congregation of the Year. Yay! I have to put my glasses on, forgive me. But this is a much-deserved, well-deserved recognition, and it's a joy to be here with you all this morning. I want to celebrate with you the incredible work for social justice that this congregation has been doing, being such a dedicated part of UUSC's work and the Guests at Your Table program, supporting our grassroots partners and those we serve through the CAPAS program, which you'll hear more about from my colleague Jessica, and in all the ways you are working to make our world a better place, here and around the world too. Thank you for the many, many dedicated UUSC members we have in this congregation. Special thanks, of course, to Beverly Baxter and Doyle Dobbins for representing UUSC so well for so many years. And of course, many thanks to Doyle's Bees for their work on behalf of social justice and human rights. Yay! Now, I know that this congregation is doing so much good in the world and at home, and I know that there are many, many causes that demand our attention. There's so much strife in our world today. It's why I am so grateful to all of you for continuing to stand with UUSC. Now, this congregation boasts 114 active members. It's 38%. It's really great. I usually hope for about 25% membership in UUSC at a congregation, so this is kind of amazing for us. Thank you to those of you who are supporting our work. You're really making a difference in our programs and around the world, truly, and it does take all of us. I hope you'll continue to stick with us. Our success, and there's so many successes, I wish I could share them all with you, but it's because of our members. And the support from this congregation has truly been a boon to our programs. Now, of course, with such strong membership, I might seem a little greedy by asking for more, but just a couple of years ago, there were 43% of members from this congregation who are also UUSC members. So it would only require 15 more people to join us to get back up to that level. So for those of you who are not current UUSC members, I hope you'll consider being a part of this year's Guest at Your Table program. Important to note, a gift of any size at all, $1, whatever you can share, will make you a member of UUSC. Unrestricted donations of $150 or more are supported and matched by our congregation at Shelter Rock, and this year we have a special year-end giving campaign where a close supporter will be matching all gifts of $25 or more, just through the month of December. Now to the month of December. And we need you with us, of course. As you may know, UUSC is not a part of the UUA. We're funded primarily by UUs, just like yourselves, across the country. Our annual budget is $12 million. It's actually really small for the amount of work we do and compared to other organizations that do work like UUSC, but we're incredibly effective. I think that our impact goes way beyond some of the larger aid agencies, and we're a leader in the human rights field. Some of our program staff, the work that we're doing is so advanced and just ahead of other groups. We're sort of setting the trends there. So I just want you all to be confident that this organization is doing great things in the names of Unitarian Universalism and is a terrific investment for your philanthropic support. So if you're interested in being a part of this work, there's a table in the parish hall. Doyle gave me envelopes. You can see them. You can leave a check there. You can mail it in. You can make donations online. So, of course, this is my job, to visit congregations, talk to UUSC members, to speak about our work and inspire and engage support. But I want to share with you some of the words that I have heard in my meetings with some of our partners about what these folks have said about their partnership with UUSC. They can say it better, and I wish I could have them all here with us. They're incredible. For example, Ana Lorena, she's one of this year's guests at our table. She's working to reunite lost and displaced people who sort of go missing or disappear along the migrant trail. She's connecting them or finding out what happened to them with their families. And she said that in UUSC's partnership with her organization, we are putting justice on the move. Joseph from the South Pacific, he works with indigenous groups. He's fighting to save countries and their cultures from the ravages of climate change. Many of their islands are disappearing into the Pacific Ocean. But he said because of UUSC's support, they are not drowning, they are fighting. And Yasmin of North Macedonia, she's supporting refugees from North Africa, Central Asia, and the Middle East as they come up and try to get into the EU where they can set up new lives. She said that when the larger aid agencies come in, they absorb the funding, the staff, all of the resources, leaving these smaller local organizations weaker. But because of their relationship with UUSC, her organization is now stronger and better situated to help more people and save more lives. And finally, there's Juan Antonio. I know Doyle had met him also earlier this year. He's from Honduras. He's defending human rights defenders from corrupt corporate and government leaders who are stealing land and resources, and they're really exasperating the migration crisis. It's sort of the root causes of the migration crisis. His life is constantly under threat. He's been detained multiple times, wrongfully. His life is at risk daily. And yet he said that in our shared work together, that hope is the act of defiance that we commit each day. So while this year's Guest at Your Table program comes to a close, we will together continue to work for these partners and with all those we serve around the world. And I thank you for your support and your partnership. It really is amazing. It's inspiring to me. And thank you for all the ways that you are putting justice on the move in your own community. And now let us prepare our hearts and minds for worship. Thank you.
Welcome to this place. This is a home where no revealed truths are promoted and no scripture or human being accepted as infallible. This is a place for searching for truth. But we are believers. We believe in intellectual freedom. We believe in justice. We believe in compassion and concern for each other and the whole world. We believe in commitment to those ideals which make us caring and active in the struggles for human dignity. We are Unitarian Universalists. If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to join me in lighting it now. As Jessica lights our chalice, I give you these words from Reverend Michelle Collins. As we light this chalice with its freely shared light and freely shared warmth, let us be reminded of the many things that are freely shared with us and that we freely share with others. May we lean into generosity shared from the heart that can warm those around us. And now please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our opening hymn number 67, We Sing Now Together. And please remain standing after the hymn so we can affirm our mission. And now please join me in affirming our mission. First Unitarian Church of Wilmington is a beloved community that nourishes minds and spirits, fights injustice, and transforms the world through loving action.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Good morning. Thank you, Jessica and Cassandra, for being with us today. So glad to have you here. I'm Becky Laster, and I'm the chair of First Unitarian's Human Rights Task Force, which is currently coordinating the First U CAPAS. Many of you already know about our CAPAS project and have generously given your time and treasure. The CAPAS core team want to express our gratitude for the support this congregation has given, I'm going to begin today by introducing you to Stella and Daniel, the mother and son from Tanzania. Here they are. In the first picture, Stella is reacting with Swahili prayers and thank yous to seeing the first apartment we found for her. In the second, Daniel is that little blue sweatshirt in the middle of all that red and yellow. He's climbing a bouncy slide at a fun night event at his school last spring. In March, First Unitarian officially became a CAPAS host congregation, and today I'm going to tell you what our CAPAS program has accomplished and what's coming next. Initially, there were many immediate and important tasks to accomplish. One of them was making sure Stella submitted her asylum application within a year of her arrival to America. We hired and paid a lawyer and translators to help us manage this process. It was not easy, but we got it submitted on time. After submitting asylum applications, asylum seekers must wait 6 months to apply for work permits. So the waiting began. In September, Stella started English as a second language classes, and in November, with assistance from our lawyer, at the beginning of this month, we finally submitted her work application. In exciting news, just this past Friday, her Social Security card came in the mail. That's the entirety of her asylum application. We really could not have done it without the lawyers and the translators. It really was a heavy lift. And we're going to move on to some money matters. We raised almost $23,000, including $16,000 from all of you and some other UUs in Delaware. To date, we've spent about $9,000 on the family's living expenses, the lawyer, and translation services. We've been blessed that we do not have to pay for rent at this time and that we've found volunteers to help with driving. Next slide shows some summer fun. We had a whole summer to wait, so at the end of the school year, we gave Daniel a bike that someone from this congregation donated to the project, and volunteers took the family to enjoy some classic American fun. Currently, oh, there he goes.
He's gone now.
Currently, we have over $13,000 still in our CAPAS account. We still owe the lawyer about $3,500. The family's living costs are about $1,000 a month, and ongoing translation services cost about $100 a month. So we've raised enough money to continue to support the family as Stella looks for employment and starts working part-time. We will gradually transition to providing less financial support as Stella gains more independence. We also celebrated birthdays in the summer. Both Stella and Daniel have birthdays, summer birthdays, and so we celebrated with them. In addition to money, we could not have accomplished what we have without our loyal volunteers. We have volunteers driving Stella to English classes. We have a volunteer tutoring her in English. Other volunteers help drive them to church or to grocery stores or go clothing shops. We can always use more volunteers to help with all of these kinds of tasks. Stella also, over the summer and into the fall, Stella enjoyed growing sweet potatoes at a community garden graciously given to her by the Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd. The local Lutheran churches have been so kind and a great resource for Stella and Daniel. So next, we will help Stella look for part-time jobs. She will continue to learn English. Although we have been blessed with an ideal housing situation for now, we need to find affordable housing where they can live long-term. If you're not aware, we have a housing crisis in Delaware. And often, after the service today, the Human Rights Task Force is sponsoring a talk from Housing Alliance Delaware. We can all join in this housing advocacy that is so important right this minute in Delaware. So please come to the talk after the service. And if you happen to know anyone who has an apartment or a house to rent and would be willing to give Stella and Daniel a good deal, please be in touch with me or any of the other core team members. Here's Stella at school, pretending to drive my car, and at her birthday party. One of her goals is to drive in America. And so that's part of why I included that picture. She got a kick out of holding up my keys. But she really wants to learn how to drive, so we may try to help her navigate that. It's unclear how that will go for someone who speaks Swahili, but. So back in March, when I stood up here, I explained that First U was becoming a CAPAS host congregation. I told you at that time the family had a far better chance of succeeding in America because we were committing to walk in solidarity with them. Now that we've gotten this far, I can say without a doubt, we have changed the trajectory of their lives here in America for the better. I can also say that for those of us who spend time with Stella and Daniel, our lives have also been changed for the better. Stella and Daniel give as much to us as we give to them. So I will close by saying, Asante Sana, Asante Sana, Asante Sana, which means thank you very much in Swahili. And I will let Stella actually have the last words.
My God, bless you all, and my family. Oh, thank you.
Hello, friends. I'm Jessica Sapalio, UUSC's CAPAS coordinator, and it's wonderful to be here with you this morning. Thank you to Becky and Doyle and your entire CAPAS team for inviting me here today. It is so amazing to be with you because I have so enjoyed working with this incredible team over the past year. And I'm thrilled to now meet in person all of you who continue to say yes to UUSC and are so dedicated to justice, human rights, and human rights. And this is also my first time preaching to a UUSC Congregation of the Year. So thank you for welcoming me, something that you're very good at. Last month, you welcomed my colleague, the Reverend Laura Randall, to kick off the Guest at Your Table season. And in the few weeks since she's been here, the world has experienced such tremendous pain. The tragic violence in Gaza and Israel, gun violence in the US, the incredible backlogs of people waiting to seek safety at our southern border, continued assaults on human rights. And as we continue to grapple with these events, we must remember that going back to business as usual is not an option. Not if we seek to live the values that we espouse and create a world with more justice, a world in which everyone's needs are met, a world that we like to call the beloved community. Beloved community is a world that is built on love, a liberatory love, the kind of love that allows us to stay in the struggle until everyone is whole, everyone is free, and everyone is welcome. And that's what we're being called to now to create in so many ways, co-creating a beloved community that looks to partners, not saviors, that looks to justice, not the status quo, a community that reaches toward life and not harmful ideology. And when Laura was here, she talked about our partners, some of which Cassandra mentioned this morning as well, partners that we are highlighting during the Guest at Your Table program. And by contributing to that effort, you have supported their collective liberation work. You have welcomed them into your homes, and you have welcomed their vision of the beloved community into your lives. Radical welcome is another way that we build the beloved community. Radical welcome extends beyond simply letting folks know that they are welcome and letting folks in the door. It means also being willing to be changed by what they bring, when they bring to that table. We welcome the ideas, the thoughts, the possibilities that others can bring. And how can this concept of radical welcome address the ills of the world surrounding us and lead us closer to the beloved community? How can expanding who is a guest at our table, both the hypothetically and the literal table, lead us closer to justice, equity, joy? Author and activist Adrienne Marie Brown reminds us that if we are not organized towards what we really want and what we long for, we will always settle for just reacting and trying to stop something bad. I think most of us resonate with that feeling. I know I do. It's always that feeling of reaction, something bad's happening, what can I do? And yet it's often so frustrating and demoralizing. So if we want to do our justice work more effectively and faithfully, if we want to become truly radically welcoming, we have to vision the world that we want, the truly expanded table. So this morning, to help with this, I'd like to invite you into a brief visioning practice. So to start, I'd like to ask everyone to kind of settle their body into a more comfortable position. Maybe that means grounding your feet on the floor. Maybe it means relaxing your head or letting your chin dip down a bit. Or maybe even leaning your head back. If you're comfortable doing so, close your eyes and soften your gaze. Take a deep breath in, and as you release the breath, notice your muscles. Are they clenched from worry, from things going on in your life or in the greater world? Take another deep breath in, and as you release that breath, Notice your muscles again. Try to unclench them. Keep breathing. Now, imagine that we are in the beloved community. We have made it. There's no war. There's no poverty. There are no borders, no prisons. Bring yourself into that future time when we have arrived and we are together. Notice all of your senses that are being activated. They may be different for each of us, but what do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell or taste? What can you feel? And who is there with you? What are you doing? What are you doing together? What is the conversation like? Take a deep breath in and continue to notice. And slowly breathe out. And as we come back to the present, take a moment to notice how your time in the beloved community made you feel. Did something stick with you? Was there a sound or an image? I know when I imagine the beloved community, I envision a community meal. Food plays a large part in my life. I love to cook, I love to eat, I love to try new restaurants, and I love to share food with people. So I often envision an expansive table. As I'm brought back to that place, that meal, in my vision of the beloved community, I know that the food we're sharing tastes like the joy of no one being hungry, that the laughter and the sounds that I hear are sounds of true liberation, a type of laughter that can only be heard when no one is behind bars, no one is trapped at a border, feeling unsafe, and it feels like home because everyone has shelter, everyone has safety. When I'm struggling with all of the injustices in the world that we face on and on and on, I tend to get so overwhelmed and I have to respond to all of them. So I try to go back to that place and I ask myself, okay, what were those things? What did I need to do? I ask myself, what were the things that kept me going in that moment? How can I take those and make them a reality? How will I get myself closer to that world that I envisioned? How am I different in that place? And what can I do in the here and now to get there? What is the work that I need to do to invite people to the welcoming table? The work that combines my passions, my skills, and that gets us closer to that beloved community. At UUSC, our work to build the beloved community focuses on systemic justice issues. We work with partners to address climate-forced displacement, crisis response, and migrant justice. And while these issues may seem a little bit unrelated at first, they are at their core all interconnected. These issues are about the right to security in our homes, the right to restore our homes when they're ravaged by natural or human-made disasters, and the right to seek new homes elsewhere. It is this last right, the human right to migrate and the right to seek asylum, that inspired the UUSC program called the Congregational Accompaniment Project for Asylum Seekers. This collaborative accompaniment program, also known as CAPAS, as Becky was referring to, is a profound way to provide radical welcome by journeying with and sheltering people and who are somewhere within the asylum process. Maybe they are just arriving at one of our borders. Maybe they're already here. Maybe they've entered the actual legal process already. But we're linked together in this work, friends, both because of our shared Unitarian Universalist values and also by your congregation's decision to join the CAPAS program and the incredible justice work that you've been doing, as Becky described. By welcoming this family into your community, you have joined a nationwide effort to create the welcome that we envision for all of those seeking safety in our country. As part of the CAPAS congregation, You are part of a welcoming network of more than 40 congregations. Each of these congregations has committed to providing housing, basic needs, a living stipend so that people have personal autonomy, and legal representation. Without this type of support, very few individuals successfully complete the legal asylum process. Without a program like CAPAS and without your dedication and support to this, their chance of success is very, very small. They face incredible challenges for themselves and their families. As Becky mentioned, there's a huge wait for work authorizations. They wait 6 months before they can even apply for asylum, with no ability to work and support themselves. The United States immigration system has been purposefully constructed to put up barriers to safety, and it's one after another, and things are constantly changing. But together, we are working to fight these injustices. Accompaniment is an invitation to witness, to listen, to show up, and it's the practice of being human together in the face of such extremely dehumanizing systems and circumstances. For those of us who are not directly targeted by ICE and immigration, accompaniment brings us closer to that violence of our immigration and criminal punishment systems, creating opportunities to build relationships with those that are most impacted. By working with Stella and her son, you can kind of get a little bit closer to that experience. And as a result, many people who engage in accompaniment become deeply transformed, as Becky alluded to, and grow more committed to disrupting these harmful systems and acting for a more liberated future for all of us. Being in solidarity with someone and sharing resources with someone seeking asylum is a tangible way to say yes to justice, yes to community, and yes to that which affirms life and makes us human. This is one of the countless ways that we become the beloved community as we seek to create it. We each have a role to play in this creation, each of us bringing our growing selves in service to this wholeness. In the words of the Australian Indigenous activist Lila Watson, if you have come here to help me, you're wasting my time. But if you've come here because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let us work together. To share more about the direct experience of someone seeking asylum who has participated in CAPAS, I invite you to listen to Yadira's story now.
Empezar de cero en otro país, con otro idioma, otra cultura, de por sí es muy difícil, pero en medio de todo eso nosotros fuimos muy bendecidos al encontrar personas tan buenas como la gente de la iglesia. Hemos encontrado mucha gente buena que siempre ha estado ahí para nosotros y que todavía siguen pendientes de nosotros. Nuestro país está ahorita atravesando por la crisis más grande que ha habido, creo, en la historia. Así que del resultado de esas elecciones dependemos de muchas formas. Nosotros estamos solicitando asilo político por persecución política. Este año ha sido muy, no diré complicado, como ha sido triste, ha dejado tristezas y alegrías en nuestra familia. Pues mi mamá murió este año allá en nuestro país y pues lo más duro que me ha tocado vivir es no estar ahí para despedirla, y eso ha sido lo más duro que nos ha tocado vivir desde que estamos aquí. Pero Dios nos bendijo y cuando mi mamá se fue nos enteramos que estamos esperando otro bebé. Le decía que muchas gracias porque yo sé que ellos nos han ayudado mucho a través de esta iglesia de aquí de Colombia. Hemos recibido todas las ayudas que nos han mandado. Nos han apoyado mucho con los gastos de la abogada y nos han apoyado emocionalmente más que todo, y han sido una familia para nosotros, pero que han sido nuestra familia y que siguen siendo nuestra familia aquí en Columbia, Missouri, y yo sé que ustedes forman parte de eso y aunque no los conozcamos, de verdad, muchas gracias.
Yadira's story has elements that we experience together in CAPAS so often, simultaneous feelings of loss and hope and fear and joy, deep connections forged across culture and language, a shared journey. And of course, a congregation that said yes. Yadira's at a congregation in Columbia, Missouri, as she mentioned. But that's the important part, a congregation that said yes. Last January, when we received a call from Nemours Children's Hospital about Stella and Daniel, we knew we had friends we could turn to in Wilmington. I was so grateful to Becky and Doyle, who immediately jumped into action to figure out a way to offer this family some support, assembling a team and quickly raising some initial money to help with their housing situation. Then, just 2 months later, your congregation decided to expand its welcome and solidarity with this family by becoming a CAPAS congregation. So many of you have provided welcome by volunteering, offering housing, providing financial support, and so much more. Thank you for showing up and for radically welcoming an asylum-seeking family into your community. In my vision of the beloved community, you are at my table. Thank you.
I don't suppose it's just coincidence that this month's Soul Matters focus is on generosity. With the holidays approaching, there are more than the usual number of opportunities to contribute to so many worthy causes. Several of which have been highlighted here this morning. And it can be daunting to decide where to focus your efforts and your donations. Here at First U, preparations for the various December holiday services are well underway, and it's an exciting time as well as a busy and demanding one. But of course, while our church strives to provide holiday cheer to our community, it still has its bills to pay and still relies on the support of its members to keep the bills paid and the lights on. So this morning, I just want to briefly remind everyone that First U needs and appreciates any and all contributions of time, talents, or financial support you are able to spare at this particularly active time in First U. As the choir sings the offertory music, the 4 ways to give are visible on the screen. You may also leave a donation of cash or check in the 2 white offering baskets at the back of the room. Your generous donations are received with gratitude. And now please join me in dedicating our offering to the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action. We dedicate our lives and these our offerings. I'm starting to feel a little like Clark Kent here with this. Okay. If you have a chalice at home, I invite you to extinguish it now. And please join me in our responsive chalice extinguishing words by Maureen Killeram. This is the message of our faith. This is the meaning of our chalice flame. May it empower our hearts until we are together again. In the end, it won't matter how much we have, but how generously we have given. It won't matter how much we know, but rather how well we live. And it won't matter how much we believe, but how deeply we love. And now please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 323, Break Not the Circle.
Circle